talking to you? Are you okay?
I'm 14! No, you cannot! No, you can't! Bullshit! I'm not arresting you.
You stay down, don't move! Put your hands behind your back!
Officer Wood was 11 months into his training when he and his supervising officer, Officer Dunlap, responded to a call in Loveland that had been classified as a domestic violence situation. What the classification did not convey, and what the body cam footage would later make plain to several million people, was that the dispute in question involved a 14-year-old girl, a unicorn keychain, a lanyard, an elephant charm, and a bike lock key. The girl's name was not released. The items she had come to retrieve belonged to her. The boy she had come to retrieve them from was 18 years old, had been in a relationship with her for 7 months, and when officers arrived and asked whether he wanted to press charges, he said no. Before we go further, what city or country are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below. We love knowing where our community is tuning in from here at Black Legacy. If you believe that a teenage girl retrieving her belongings after a breakup deserves to be handled with basic human decency, and that a father trying to protect his dog and his daughter in front of his own home deserves something better than a taser and a pair of handcuffs, then hit that like and subscribe, because we tell the stories that make clear exactly what happens when the people sworn to protect a community forget who they are protecting it from. Her name, for the purposes of this account, is the daughter. She was 14 years old. She had been in a relationship with a boy 4 years older than her, and when that relationship ended, she wanted back the things that were hers. A unicorn keychain. A lanyard, an elephant charm she had noticed was missing after she had already returned home once. A bike lock. A bungee cord that belonged to her father. These were the items. This was the disagreement. She had walked back to his address more than once that afternoon, because each time she left she realized something had not been returned, and she was the kind of person who was going to keep coming back until everything that was hers had been accounted for. That quality, the refusal to leave without what she came for, is worth remembering for the rest of this story. Her father's name was John. He was at home. He had 2 dogs. He had bad hands, the kind of bad that comes from 2 surgeries on one hand, and he had a life that was, until that Wednesday afternoon, entirely unremarkable to the Loveland Police Department. His record, which he would later reference more than once in the footage, was the record of a man who had no history of violence and no reason to expect that the next hour of his life was going to end with him on the ground in front of his own house with taser wires attached to his body and his wrists in handcuffs. Officers Dunlap and Wood arrived at the address and made contact with John first. Dunlap introduced himself and explained that Wood was a trainee and that he, Dunlap, was there in a supervisory capacity. The conversation at the door was calm. John was cooperative. He directed them to his daughter, who was inside, and she came out and spoke to Officer Wood in the measured, slightly exasperated way of a teenager explaining something that seems obvious to her and is apparently not obvious to the people she is explaining it to. She told him about the unicorn. She told him about the lanyard. She told him about the elephant she had noticed was missing after she had already walked home, which was why she had gone back. She told him about the bungee cord and the bike, and that when she had asked the boy about the bungee cord, he had told her to pull the money for it out of a part of her body that was not equipped for storage. She was 14 years old, and she explained all of this clearly, and without particular drama, the way a person explains something when they know they are in the right and are simply waiting for that to become obvious to everyone else in the room. The officers had classified the call as domestic violence before they arrived. The boy was 18. The girl was 14. They had been in a relationship. Under the definitions available to them, the classification was technically applicable. What the classification did not account for, and what the footage makes clear was not adequately accounted for at any point during the response, was that the alleged victim had declined to press charges, that the items in dispute were a keychain and a lanyard, and that what was happening on this Particular afternoon was a teenage argument over property that had been resolved, to the extent it was going to be resolved, before the officers pulled up. What happened next was captured on body cam footage from multiple officers and on the phones of at least 2 people who were present. The footage shows the daughter being told she was under arrest. It shows her moving toward the door of her own home, the way a person moves when they have been told something that does not make sense and their immediate instinct is to be inside rather than outside. It shows officers grabbing her. It shows her father coming out of the house moving not toward the officers but toward his dog, a Jack Russell Terrier that had come outside and that John did not want near the officers or near any part of the situation that was escalating in a direction he did not yet understand. His voice when he spoke was not the voice of someone threatening the people in front of him. It was the voice of a man who was looking at his 14-year-old daughter and trying to explain to the officers holding her that she was 14 years old and that he needed to get his dog. He was pushed. He said he was going for the dog. He was pushed again. He said he was not threatening anyone. He said he was not a risk. The dog was on the stairs. John had the dog. He turned and a taser was deployed. He fell. He was told to get on his stomach. He complied. He was told not to move. He said he would not move. His daughter was on the concrete. She was screaming. John was on the ground asking anyone to please put his dog away before something happened to it, and one of the officers eventually did take the dog inside. What was not happening at any point during this sequence was de-escalation. What was happening was an 11-month trainee and his supervising officer managing a situation that had begun as a dispute over a unicorn keychain by putting a 14-year-old girl on the concrete in front of her home and tasing her father in the front yard while he tried to secure a Jack Russell Terrier. John was arrested on charges of obstructing and resisting. The footage captured him at every point behaving as a man who was frightened and frustrated and trying to protect 2 things at once, neither of which was himself. It captured an officer stepping on him while he was on the ground. It captured the same officer, when John mentioned this, saying, "Get over yourself." It captured John asking to speak to the chief. It captured an officer telling him he could speak to them all and then adding, without apparent irony, that he was not going to speak to what you have to say. The footage ran the entire time, and the people watching it were not going to need context or interpretation to understand what they were looking at. There is a moment in the footage, captured after John has been placed in the patrol car and the officers have gathered to debrief, where one of them mentions that a bystander who had witnessed the incident was not willing to give a statement in support of the department's account. The officer relaying this information describes what the witness had said, which was that John had been trying to restrain his dog when the officer went crazy on him. The officer delivering this information says, "Oh, good," and then moves on to the next item, which is the logistics of transporting John to the station. Nobody addresses what the witness said. The debrief continues. The family filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the Loveland officers involved. The filing alleged excessive force, covering the physical handling of the 14-year-old, the tasing of her father, and the treatment of the family during an arrest that had its origins in a property dispute over a keychain that the supposed victim did not want to prosecute. The lawsuit cited 42 U.S. Code Section 1983, the Fourth Amendment's prohibition on unreasonable seizure, and Graham v. Connor, the 1989 Supreme Court ruling that established that excessive force claims must be evaluated against the specific facts of the situation. A teenage girl retrieving a lanyard. A father reaching for a dog. These were the facts. The city of Loveland released the body cam footage publicly after the suit was filed in 2022 and announced that an independent review would be conducted. As of the latest available information, there has been no reported settlement. There has been no reported disciplinary action against the named officers. There has been no major policy change attributed to the incident. The case remains ongoing, which is a word that contains within it the entire distance between what accountability is supposed to look like and what it actually produces when the people responsible for providing it are also the people responsible for the conduct being reviewed. John had said on the footage, "Look at my record." He had said it more than once. His record was the record of a man who had not done this before, who had come outside on a Wednesday afternoon to find 3 officers on his 14-year-old daughter and had moved toward his dog because he did not want the dog to make a bad situation worse, and had ended the afternoon on the ground in handcuffs with taser wires in his body, charged with obstructing. A process that had begun over a unicorn keychain that the alleged victim did not want prosecuted. The lawsuit is still open. The footage still runs. If this story stayed with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. The families who ask for nothing more than basic dignity in front of their own homes deserve to know that when it is taken from them, the story does not stay quiet. Subscribe to Black Legacy. We are not done telling the truth.